the MLB Draft Spotlight Show here with University of Georgia outfielder first baseman Charlie Condon. Charlie, welcome to the show, Marietta, Georgia's finest.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. Of course, you were on the short list for the first episode of the year, and I got to ask, man. I start every episode like this. Who's Charlie Condon? Tell the viewers, tell the listeners, what are you all about?
Charlie Condon's just a laid back guy who likes to play baseball, obviously growing up, but just enjoys spending time with the guys. It's really what it's all about growing up. It's baseball's been my social outlet more than anything else. So it's brought me a lifetime supply of friends, which I can only thank. I mean I've got no words to even say how thankful I am for that part of it. But yeah, it's just along for the ride and seeing where it can take me and working my butt off when I can.
No doubt, no doubt. You've had a kind of a gangbusters 2 years here. So 2021, limited playing time. You get on the field here and there, but not necessarily a full-time guy. 2023, or I should say 2022, then 2023 this year, you're one of the best players on the planet. I mean,
Thank
you
you.
put up
Thank you.
absolutely gaudy numbers. Charlie, what do you think was the reason that you just unlocked this new level?
Yeah, it was just the whole redshirt process that I went through my freshman year was I think was big time. Just being able to be in the program at the SEC level and being able to experience it up close and personal, but not being thrown to the wolves, so to say. But just to be around college pitching, get that experience, see how other veterans, seasoned um, SEC guys went about their business, just to get all that experience without being thrown right in was just I was able to like hit the ground running once my number was called this spring, which I'm just happy to see it pay off a little bit.
I gotta ask that there are some similarities between your story and this year's number 3 overall pick, Wyatt Langford. Wyatt
Mhm.
Langford, University of Florida, barely played as a freshman. In fact, was told, "Hey, you need to kind of clean it up. You need to get stronger. You need to get bigger. You need to kind of polish up your game." Comes in year 2, turns into a superstar. I'm wondering if you kind of watched that narrative from afar this year and did see a little bit of that in yourself.
Yeah, no, Wyatt's an absolute dog. It's really cool to see him play this year, going down to Gainesville and playing against them. But yeah, he's a workhorse, which I mean is what it takes at this level. He's obviously the type of guy that's just kind of puts his nose down and gets after it. He's not going to be the super flashy guy, which I'd like to think I'm not either. But he's all about the work, which is the biggest thing that you can have at this level. Because I mean, once you get up here, everyone's so talented and everyone's going to have that part of it, but it's just whether or not you can be like day in and day out having your best stuff, which he obviously did. But yeah, I mean, just to have my name thrown in with his is definitely a huge compliment.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, you're a Marietta boy. Have you been a Bulldog through and through for as long as you can remember?
For as a really long time, yeah. It's growing up watching games at Sanford. My sister went here. Older sister went here. My older cousin played football here. My parents are Auburn and Vanderbilt, so it's an SEC family. But
Mhm.
just growing up in the state, and obviously having some connections to the school early on, were kind of helped set my sights in Athens for sure.
So this year, obviously, you had a lot of big at bats. I'm wondering if there's maybe one at bat from 2023 that sticks out as kind of that moment where it's like, okay, I'm I'm meant to be here, and this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd say my the Friday night game at Florida. It was my probably my best game of the season. It was my 20th birthday, and I had 3 homers that night. And I think that third one, I was just like, man, I'm not really sure where this came from, but but I'm all for it, and just kind of rode that wave and tried not to focus on any results too hard than the other ones. Just 'cause, I mean, there's so many negative results and so many positive results that you're just looking at that, you're gonna have a long season. But I mean, yeah, I think that was definitely a boost of confidence. I was like, okay, yeah, I can compete here with these guys.
I love your swing, dude. It's quiet, it's simple. You leverage the ground really, really well, and you lag that barrel
Thank you.
longer than most. I'm just curious because it is a little bit of a unique swing. Is there anybody growing up that you
Mhm.
kind of maybe built it off of a little bit, or you like to think you have some of that in your swing?
it was a lot of small tweaking throughout my younger baseball years, just because I wasn't always the strongest kid. I grew kind of late. It wasn't until about junior year of high school that I really started to hit the ball with any sort of power or average really. So it was tweaks and finding things that worked for me and just kind of a series. I mean, that's how I feel like a lot of people are, just a series of different tweaks that finally works closer and closer to a finished product, which we're still far from. But no, yeah, it's I wouldn't say there's any player particularly that I've modeled it off of, but I've just trying to pick it apart and fix things when they need to be fixed.
A little bit of Buster Posey in the way that you delivered the load in the ball.
I'll
I
take that.
see it.
I'll take
I
that.
see it. I see it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
It's a good
Um,
comp. It's a good
there you
comp.
go. There you go. Hey, what are the pillars in your swing? Like when it's going right, I know that especially on the golf course, people have pillars that they're like, I got to
Hmm.
get to this point. Is there like a
Right.
feeling that you have when you're feeling right?
Yeah, so one of the first things I look at if I'm not seeing the ball great is making sure I'm getting started at the right time. It's an easy, well, I'd say it's an easy fix, but I mean nothing's really an easy fix in baseball. But timing, if you're not getting, because I'm a toe tap guy, if I'm not getting into my toe tap at the right spot, I'm going to be in between the heater and the off speed, and that's where I saw a lot of struggles this year was just being in between those velos, and just feeling comfortable in my back hip once I get to the top of that toe tap. Just feeling like I can go whenever I need to. That's the key for me is just being able to be comfortable at any point in my swing. It helps me with pitch selection and execution for sure.
You have some positional versatility, first base, corner, outfield spots. Is there a spot that you kind of envision yourself, like a position that you see yourself in?
I love playing the corner outfield. That's something that I've developed since getting to college. I was in high school. I played first base mostly just because that's what my team always needed. And I like first base too. I've got nothing against it, but ever since getting to Georgia, getting kind of forced out there to run around a little bit, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with it. And I definitely feel like I could see myself out there more than in the dirt. But I like both of them, so it's nice to have some options.
So what's next for you, man, in terms of your development? Because obviously this past 12 months has been massive for you, but what's the next box that you want to check?
Yeah, it's always working on the physicality for me. It's I've been trying to put on weight my whole life, and I'm gonna keep working on that. I'm gonna try to get those numbers up there. And I mean, you can never have too much juice, so it's getting in the weight room, getting my swing down, feeling comfortable with that, and then once we start getting back into the fall and seeing some pitching again, just working on approach and stuff like that. But it's been nice to not necessarily shut it down, but have a little bit of slower times with baseball as soon as summer ball is over. So it's yeah, it's back in the weight room, working on nutrition and getting stronger and stuff like that, just so that be a little more durable this spring.
I like asking thumpers this question. I'll call you a thumper for the
Mhm.
sake of the interview here. You big into the barrels, the EVs? Like you like to dive into those numbers at all?
I like seeing them. I don't think about them too much because sometimes honestly I'll feel like I'll hit balls better than others and the numbers will come out different.
Mhm.
But it's cool to see for sure those stats come out. But I try not to think about them too much just because if you're hitting the ball hard, I think you're going to see the results. It's nothing to worry about if you're not going crazy with the exit velo. But it's definitely cool to see. But it's not something I try to psych myself out with too much.
I'll leave you with this. And then we got to hit a couple of left field questions here. Team USA,
Okay.
man. You got to play for Team
Mhm.
USA. You delivered a walk-off, the
Absolutely.
first walk-off of your entire baseball career, going back to junior high.
Hmm.
You were telling me before the show. What was it
Yeah,
like wearing the colors?
it was a dream come true. I mean, you can't draw up a summer ball experience cooler than that. Just to be surrounded with that group and wearing that uniform and playing against the foreign competition was just so cool to see how other countries play the sport. Just because you think you know so much about baseball, like growing up playing it, but then you get an experience like that, and your eyes are just open to like the Japanese way of playing baseball, which is really cool to play against, and then just meeting all the guys that have had such successful years this spring was really cool to get to know and create relationships with those guys.
I love that, man. Okay, two more questions. This is a good one.
Hmm.
You got one walk-up song for the next 25 years.
Hmm.
You can't change it. Even when you're 40 playing
Oh
first
man,
base, playing first base for the Atlanta Braves. You're 40 years old. It's got to be the same. Got to be the same song. 25 years. What are you choosing?
See, this is a tough question for me because I'm going to be sitting here thinking about what my walk-up song is going to be for this spring, probably until next February. So to put me on the spot like this is tough, but I feel like if I've got to answer that right now, I'd probably just have to stick with whatever it was this spring, which was "Paint It Black" by the Rolling Stones. I mean, it
Dig
worked
it.
for me this spring, and because it had the whole like red and black thing for Georgia, which I liked, and the kick drum at the beginning. But that's what it was, and I think I couldn't abandon that if just for how it treated me this year.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been telling other people this too. If you're going to choose a song for the next 25 years, why not select a song that's survived 50? You know?
Exactly, it's
It's already
a
stood the
classic
test
for
of time.
sure.
It's stood the test of time. Okay,
Yeah.
last question. I've hit a couple other guys with this. And actually I'm going to change the rules for you because I just had JJ Weatherholt on
Okay.
last week and he chose
Love
like a
that guy.
childhood friend. Yeah. Um, Team USA, Team USA in the Cape. I'll give you the Cape too.
Yeah.
Who's the
Okay.
one dude that you've played with, a buddy of yours, that no shot you're letting him date your sister?
Mm. Oh my goodness, there's a couple to be honest with you. Um, the first one's from the Cape. His name's Ross Highfill from Mississippi State.
I know
He's
Ross.
a great dude, but
I
just
interviewed Ross 2 years
great
ago.
dude, but just I couldn't let that happen. Trying to think who else because I know there's someone on that USA roster that I'm just not thinking of right now. Um, I mean, Jay Slaviolette would be a little bit suspect for it, but he's a good dude. I can't. He's one of my better friends now. I can't put that on him. But I'd be a little nervous about that one too.
I like it. I like it. Charlie Condon, University of Georgia, corner outfielder, not a first baseman. Charlie, I'm excited to see what you
There
do
we
this
go.
year, dude. Should be a big
Thank you.
2024 for you. Big 2024 for the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm rooting for you, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.